I'm here to talk about my miscarriage when I was 16.
When my first son was about 2 weeks after his first birthday, I did a pregnancy test and it was positive.
I had found out I was pregnant with my boyfriend of the time. I didn't tell anyone at all. No one, not even my parents. And that was something hard to hide.
Not the boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend still doesn't know.
So I went to the ultrasound and I went in and this doctor man came from a room with all the monitors and he was saying things to us like, you're gonna need to decide what you wanna do and like, you're probably gonna wanna talk to your family doctor and we were confused and I said, I'm sorry, what? And he said, well, it's not viable. Just like in a hallway.
I made it to about 17 weeks before the miscarriage. I had found out in the doctor's office that her heart stopped beating.
I said to my doctor, well, what do I do now? And he said, you wait. He said, your body is going to, do what it's going to do, which I thought was sort of hilarious because up until that point, it hadn't nursed properly and it hadn't kept a pregnancy. So time is passing. I'm tired. I'm still feeling pregnant. I'm wondering, were they wrong? I don't know. And it was really draining every day to wake up and feel that way. When you're pregnant, there's fun at the end, right? Like, it's like, yes, I can only eat crackers all day.
That is fun.
Yeah, sure. But when you're like, all I can eat today is crackers, but I know I'm gonna have a baby someday, right? When you wake up and it's like, I'm feeling this for nothing. Why is this happening? When I had the second ultrasound and they told me that it wasn't viable, it was parent-teacher interview night, and I'm a teacher, so I had to go back to school. I was supposed to go for the evening. So I went back and I went into the principal's office and said, I don't want to do this tonight. Like, my students are in my class for multiple years. I know the families well, like they'll understand medical emergency. And he said, no, you need to be in your classroom. I was young, I didn't know how to advocate in this situation. So I went back to my class and I sat there all night.
I was told I needed to have a D&E, dilation and evacuation. I wasn't told that I could go through natural miscarriage or even have induced labor. I wasn't told that there were any other options because the nurse made the decision for me. She had decided for me that I was too young to go through the trauma of birth at 16.
And you were alone.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of regret not having anyone because what I needed at the time was someone to tell me it was okay, it was going to be okay, even if it wasn't okay and it wouldn't be okay, that it would take forever to get over the feeling. And I'm still not even over it. I don't know if I'll ever be over it.
Nothing was happening with my body. So I went back to my doctor and said, what do we do? So he said they would put me for an emergency D&C.
They basically go in and clear out your womb.
Yeah, so because we were trying to rush it before the Christmas holidays so I could go on this trip, they kind of called the day of and said, come to the hospital today. So I had to go to the hospital. And I sat there all day, literally, till 5:30 by myself, just cold in a gown, then finally walked, because you're healthy, you walked to an operating room and they were like, get on this table. I was like, okay. So we did that.
I didn't even have a chance to come up with a name for my daughter, who, if I was able to carry her through, she'd be turning 8 this year.
Wow. Off we went on our trip, and my, ex-laws were never very warm to me anyway. It was like an elephant in the room sort of thing. Like they were like, oh, well, let's go swimming. And I can't go swimming, guys. Oh, right. And that was kind of, so everyone knew why I couldn't, but we weren't connecting on it.
It wasn't up
It just, it wasn't talked about. It wasn't, and I was sad, or my ex would be like, everyone's sleeping. Do you want to maybe? And I'm like, no. I don't want to maybe.
It took a lot of time to deal with how I felt with all of that. I felt very hollow and numb for a very long time. And it took 6 years to tell anyone what happened. And I told my mom. I was completely plastered when I told her, and I heard so much about it afterwards because she had several miscarriages before she had me, then my sister, and then 3 more before my brother.
I don't even know if people at work knew that I had a miscarriage. And do you pass a card around and say, sign this card for Tara? Well, what's it for? Oh, she had a miscarriage. Like,
It's a miscarriage card.
Yeah.
You need those in the Hallmark aisle.
Sure, we do, but
Birthday.
but it would have been very strange to people to have that card come around. So it's not a fault of anyone.
It is actually a fault, not of those people, but it is kind of a fault of this culture.
Yes.
We don't have an aisle for it, but it's still fucking real. If you had shown up and your father had just died, or, it was something that was like, outside of the shame box where everyone has language for it and everyone has a place they can put it, they might have known how to treat you or what to say or how to deal. But because these topics like miscarriage and abortion don't have a place, people are just paralytic.
Yeah.
So we think we're crazy.
Yeah, we think we're alone because by omission, it doesn't get talked about. Like, I remember I was in a classroom with a bunch of women and teachers, and I said something miscarriage, and, 3 hands go up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what?
Everybody.
I know.
Everybody all the time.
And I'm still going through healing and everything because I'm turning 25 in like 2 weeks. So I'm thinking about kids and wanting to have kids and going through all the what ifs and thinking about, what if I miscarry again? Well, can I even have kids? At least now I know that I shouldn't be doing it alone.
Just the act of throwing this out in the open really helps. And other women, people, everyone can go like, oh, right, not crazy.
Not just me.
Not just me. that was a real thing, and I actually was in grief. Yeah. Who knew? No one else around me knew because they didn't have the words for it, but the truth is still the truth.
Yeah.
Opening up really does help and heal, especially on tough topics. And I think more people need to be more about being open, talking about the stuff that really makes you hurt and getting help to heal.
From the baby you lost to the one that you're growing inside. Come on out, darling.